History's Deadliest Snipers. Number 5. The Ghost of Stalingrad. Picture this. It's winter. 1942. The city of Stalingrad looks less like a place where people live and more like the world's largest ashtray. Smoke, rubble, shattered glass. It's basically an apocalypse with snowflakes. And hiding somewhere in that nightmare is Vasily Zaitsev, a Soviet sniper who made the Germans feel like they'd walked onto the wrong side of a horror movie. Now, Zaitsev wasn't just good. He was terrifyingly good. We're talking over 200 confirmed kills during the Battle of Stalingrad alone. Imagine being a German officer, sipping cold soup from a tin, and bam, bullet through the scope. Zaitsev turned survival into a math problem. If you stuck your head out for more than 3 seconds, congratulations, you just lost. But here's the fun part. The Soviets turned Zaitsev into a legend while he was still alive. They printed his name in newspapers, told civilians he was a hero, and basically made him the Stalingrad boogeyman. It wasn't just psychological warfare against the Nazis, it was also morale candy for the home team. Nothing says, "You got this," like knowing some guy in a snow-covered trench is turning invaders into Swiss cheese. And the duel? Oh yes, the duel. According to Soviet accounts, Zaitsev faced off against a top German sniper in a cat-and-mouse game that lasted days. Think hide-and-seek, except if you lose, you're permanently out of the game. Spoiler, Zaitsev won, because apparently that's just what he did. His secret? Patience, camouflage, and a knack for blending into the ruins like a ghost. He once hid under a sheet of metal for hours, waiting for just the right shot. Meanwhile, you can't even wait for your microwave popcorn without checking the bag 3 times. So yeah, Zaitsev wasn't just a soldier. He was living proof that one guy with a rifle could haunt an entire army. The Germans feared him so much, they started seeing him everywhere. Kind of like how you still see your ex in every crowd after a bad breakup. Number 4. White Death. Imagine standing in a snowy forest where everything is silent. Then, suddenly, someone in your unit drops. No warning, no sound, just the chilling realization you've wandered into Simo Häyhä's playground. Nicknamed the White Death, this Finnish farmer turned sniper scored over 500 confirmed kills in the Winter War. That's not a typo, that's the population of a small town erased in about 100 days. If this were a video game, people would call for his ban. And here's the kicker. He did it with iron sights, no scopes. He thought glass reflections could give him away. That's like showing up to a basketball game and saying, "I'll play left-handed today, just to be fair." Häyhä wasn't just accurate, he was brilliant at survival. He'd pack snow around his rifle to hide the muzzle blast, keep snow in his mouth so his breath didn't show, and position himself perfectly with the light. He basically turned nature into his ally. The Soviets threw everything at him: artillery, counter-snipers, even an exploding bullet to the face. But instead of ending his career, he healed up and lived into his 90 seconds. To the Soviets, the forest wasn't just cold, it was haunted, and the ghost with the rifle had a name: Simo Häyhä. Number 3. The Eagle-Eyed Marine. In the jungles of Vietnam, the heat could roast you, the bugs could eat you alive, and if neither did, Carlos Hathcock, White Feather, probably would. The North Vietnamese army feared him so much they slapped a $30,000 bounty on his head. For context, most snipers were worth about $8. Hathcock wasn't just a problem, he was a campfire horror story. Officially, he had 93 confirmed kills, but it was his daring missions that made him legendary. Like crawling for 3 days through grass and mud to take out a general moving inch by inch while enemy patrols walked past close enough to hear them breathe. He made the shot and crawled back out. That's commitment on another level. Then there's the famous through-the-scope kill. Hathcock spotted the glint of an enemy sniper's lens and fired straight through it, into the man's eye. That's not just accuracy, it's the kind of thing Hollywood would cut for being too unbelievable. Even after being badly burned in an accident, Hathcock kept training new snipers, insisting the craft was 90% mental and 10% physical. To him, the jungle wasn't chaos, it was a chessboard. And he always played 3 moves ahead. Number 2. Lady Death. World War II again, but this time, the deadliest sniper wasn't a grizzled veteran. It was 25-year-old Ukrainian Lyudmila Pavlichenko, better known as Lady Death. With 309 confirmed kills, including 36 enemy snipers, she was the nightmare hiding behind Soviet rifles. She joined the Red Army when Hitler invaded, refusing to be pushed into nursing. At Odessa and later Sevastopol, she proved she could wait for hours in the dirt for a single clean shot. Her patience and precision turned the battlefield into her personal hunting ground. Her kills weren't just numbers, they were psychological warfare. Germans dreaded sticking their heads up, and when she started dropping enemy snipers, her legend only grew darker. Eventually, the Soviets decided she was too valuable to risk. They pulled her from combat and sent her on a propaganda tour to the US and UK. Imagine Lady Death, straight from the front lines, suddenly sipping tea with Eleanor Roosevelt. Talk about culture shock. And she didn't just silence enemies with a rifle, her words cut too. When asked if women belonged in combat, she fired back. I am 25 years old, and I have killed 309 fascist invaders. Do you not think, gentlemen, that you have been hiding behind my back for too long? A mic drop if there ever was one. Pavlichenko wasn't just a sniper. She was proof that courage and lethal skill don't care about gender. Number 1. The Silent Samurai. Finally, to the Pacific. The jungles of Guadalcanal were already a nightmare, heat like an oven, bugs that could carry you away, and every step sounding like you were walking on bubble wrap made of twigs. But for U.S. Marines, there was one fear greater than all of that: a Japanese sniper nicknamed the Silent Samurai. Unlike legends with sky-high kill counts, Matsuo wasn't remembered for numbers. He was remembered for the way he turned the jungle into a haunted house. He would disappear for days, set up in impossible hiding spots, and pick off soldiers one by one. By the time Marines realized what was happening, he was gone, like the forest had swallowed him whole. What made him terrifying was his unpredictability. Sometimes he used long-range shots. Sometimes he set traps. Sometimes he ambushed at close range. No one knew what version of Matsuo they were facing on a given day. It wasn't just warfare, it was psychological chess. Marines reported feeling like even the trees were aiming at them. His reputation spread so wide that commanders had to warn troops specifically, watch out for the Silent Samurai. Imagine being so feared that your name alone makes people sweat. He was less a soldier and more a final boss character dropped into real life. And that's the point. Being a legendary sniper isn't only about stacking up body counts. Matsuo proved that sometimes the deadliest weapon is fear itself, the silence before the shot, and the knowledge that somewhere out there, the jungle is watching you back. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.